Resilience for, let's say, a woman in Gosbeda means that whether she misses rains this year or whether there is too much rain this year and her plantation has been flooded, she's still able to feed her children, she's still able to let them access the local clinic if they need to, she's still able to access clean water, she's still able to feed her children as she always does, and she does not have to resort to selling her goats, to selling her cattle, or to marrying off her daughter.
I think the overall impression, just like the Cardinal's talk just now, is that I think for the first time we're not, whenever we discuss resilience, having 101 different definitions. I think people understand what is being attempted, and that is to address why people are vulnerable.
This now wants to get down into saying, this is the evidence, this is what we need to build on, this is what we need to scale up. And in a year, last year, when we nearly had 4 famines, and we certainly had 1 declared, now more than ever do we need that.
So hunger does discriminate, and it disproportionately affects certain ethnic groups, women and children, certain regions and religious groups, and it coexists alongside diseases of wealth like diabetes, obesity. So you can be hungry and 100 miles away somebody can have diabetes and be dying of heart disease because they've been eating too much.
The biggest single factor for somebody's resilience or vulnerability is whether you're a man or a woman.
Girls being married at 13 when they should be in school, and so that impacts on the whole health of girls, and then growing up as women, and then impacts also in their whole decision-making processes, because they haven't had those experiences and aren't, able to go through or follow through with their education.
You can get lost down rabbit holes trying to measure resilience, and there's the international working groups doing it. Please let them go ahead. But for us, I think we were happy to use fairly proxy indicators of resilience, or to use something like nutrition as a key indicator, because it was around how do you make people resilient to repeated droughts.
And it's funny, I think while there is that need and the immediate need to help people, there's also parallel to this the need to have 10, 20-year vision. Otherwise, a lot of the people we're talking about, we'll be still giving them an extra chicken or a fruit tree in 20 years' time.
We cannot be talking about resilience without really talking about or looking at the situation from an urban perspective. More and more people globally are living in the urban areas, and they move into these areas in search of economic opportunities and often end up living in the most deplorable situation.
Learning what those vulnerabilities are and learning what the coping strategies are is information that's only held by communities themselves. It's not like we're coming in from outside and introducing the concept of resilience. People have survived for many, many years by using these mechanisms.
Markets are really, really good ways of matching supply and demand when they work. Yeah? When governments try and control an economy, or NGOs try and control and guide an economy, it never works. But if we provide people with tools so that they can do it for themselves in their own ways and so on, if we want to be relevant, we've got to really start with what's going on in a local economy, what are the forces of change, and looking for, well, what is my role within that, rather than what do I need to do to bring resilience and development.